back to my channel. It's your girl Kinesthetic, and I'm here with you guys today with a new video with the familiar face,
Ndeye Peinda.
And we're here today to give you guys a video describing 8 things that you need to know if you are a micro-influencer in the content creation space. So this is going to be one part of the video. The other part of the video will be on Ndeye's channel, so make sure you check out the description box down below for the link to her channel as well as her video. So before we get started, do not forget to subscribe to my channel. If you guys enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up. And without further ado, let's get into the video. So pause right here. This will be part 2 of our video. Part 1 can be found on Ndeye's channel. The link to her video will be in the description box down below. And I think you guys should watch that first so that you guys can get the first 4 tips that we had for you guys. And I'm going to start off with tip number 5. So let's go ahead and get into it.
So the next topic is going to be attending events. So I feel like as micro-influencers, especially for us as micro-influencers under like 20K,
yeah,
I don't think that we get invited to tons, or I don't know about you, I don't get invited to tons and tons and tons of events. I get invited to events. Now, when it comes to attending events, it's a lot. Like, it's a lot because a lot of times the first thing, you want to find an outfit,
the energy,
because you want to present yourself in a way that represents your brand. So whatever your brand is, whatever your brand represents, you want that to be what people see when they look at you. So it's a very superficial thing, but it is something that comes into a factor, because it's like a lot of times going into these spaces as micro-influencers, people might not know you, they might not know your content, but they know what they see, they know how you present yourself. So I feel like definitely go into it, you know, thinking about what you want to wear, how you want to present yourself, what is the message that you want to send when people first see you. But even before that, I would say make sure that you go to events.
I think that for both of us, Ndeye and I are content creators, but this is not our full-time job.
Right.
So when it comes to attending events, when it comes to choosing what events to attend, you want to be conscious of which events are going to be beneficial to you. And you never really know, because most of these events, this is the first time they're doing it, or you don't know anybody else who's going, or the people who are throwing the event, so there's nobody you can really ask. I would say if it's a brand that you really respect, a brand that you really like F with, then I would definitely say like make an extra effort to actually attend the event. But you don't have to go to every event, and I think that's a huge misconception that people have, especially if you have another life. Like, we work, we gotta go home and still do work, clock into this job, you know. So it's a lot, because a lot goes into attending events. So you gotta find an outfit, you gotta figure out what you're gonna do to your face, you gotta beat your face, you have to do your hair, you gotta make sure that you look good from head to toe and from edge to edge. So it's just a lot that goes into it, and you also have to have the energy to go. Like, for me, I know that when it's that time of the month, if an event is going on, unless I really want to go, I'm not going to go just because I know my energy is going to be on 0. And I don't want that to be the first impression that anyone has of me. So in situations like that, I'll just stay home, just because I know that it won't be beneficial for me to be there.
So when it comes to attending events, besides like the points that we just made, if you're wondering like how do you get invited, honestly what usually happens is like brands start to follow you on social media, they start to follow you on Instagram, they put you on their list, or they put you on their PR, and then from there, if they ever have an event, they'll email you and you can RSVP. And I feel like one thing that we have to do as micro-influencers is stick together. So it's just like, if I know about an event, I'm going to put other people on. I'm going to put Kendra on and let them know, okay, this event is happening. See if you can RSVP, or I'll do a +1, just so that other people that are around me can also be in these spaces, and we can continue to network amongst each other.
So the next point is to make sure that you're making the most out of an event, / how do you make the most out of events that you go to. So first and foremost, the biggest thing you want to do is network while you're at an event. Like, network. And a lot of times people think like, oh my god, I'm socially awkward, how do I start a conversation? And it really comes with practice. Like, the first event you go to is going to be nerve-wracking, it's going to be awkward, it's going to be a learning experience basically. But from that event, you want to make sure you leave and you know, like, okay, the next event I go to, this is like some ways I'm going to start conversations, this is how I'm going to move, this is where I'm going to stand, this is who I'm going to stand next to, this is how many drinks I'm going to have, you know. Like, it's kind of like you take notes on what you see, what you observe, and then you go from there. There's no like guideline, there's no handbook of like how to attend events, how to make the most of an event. But the first thing I would say is to network. And what else?
Get your appointment. So Kendra's booking an appointment right now, but as far as like other things, I feel like when it comes to attending events, like for me personally, I'm the type of person where it's just like, I can have a conversation with people. I personally feel like I'm sometimes socially awkward, or not even socially awkward, I get social anxiety. So I get very nervous about like meeting new people. And I think it's because for me, it's just like, what most people don't know is that I'm actually an introvert. I'm like a extroverted introvert. So I can be in places, but I do enjoy my own company. I do enjoy my own space. So sometimes I find it difficult to like meet new people because it's just like, what are we going to talk about? So what I've had to do personally for me is just like reflect after attending events. So even just like an event we went to before, I'm just like, yo, is it rude to tap people on their shoulder to get their attention? Kendra said yes, my sister said yes, my roommate said yes, and I was like, oh, like,
you never noticed that.
I never noticed that. And like I tapped this person and she was just like, and when she saw me, she was like, oh my god, like, hi. Like, it was fine after that, but it's just like, I learned moving forward, when I'm at an event, I'm not gonna tap people to get their attention. I'm gonna find another way to do it. So every event is a learning lesson, but I think it's super important to reflect after you leave the event, to think about what went well. And something that I've recently learned, well, two things. One, you belong in every space that you walk into. As a micro-influencer, it is very, very hard to go into places and to feel like, you know, you deserve to be there, because you're seeing people. You might have 10,000 followers, you might have 15, 5, whatever. You can see people who have 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, and it's very easy to forget that they're people just like your person. So it's just like, regardless of their numbers, regardless of them being in that space, you having less followers does not mean that you deserve to be in that room less than they do. You deserve to be in there just as much as they do. And when you have that confidence within yourself, it's much easier for you to network and to meet people, because you're no longer like, there's nothing holding you back from introducing yourself to someone and like letting them know who you are. And if they're a good person, if they're a nice person, if they're in a good mood that day, they'll be receptive to you, they'll talk to you, because at the end of the day, like, you're in the room with them. So what really makes y'all different? You get what I'm saying? And then the second thing that I would say I've learned, outside of just like knowing that you belong in every room you walk into, is before, when I first started going to events, up until last week, I was just like, oh my gosh, like, how many people can I meet and like network with, right? So it's just like, that means that I'm having a lot of meaningless conversations with a bunch of people. You don't want to do that. What I've decided that I want to do is, I want to go to events, and when I go, I want to connect with 1 to 3 people maximum, but the connections I make with those people, I want them to be strong, I want them to be meaningful, I want to be able to maybe have a follow-up lunch or a dinner, or like make an actual friend, or make an actual acquaintance within the industry, where it's just like, we have something where we've connected on as people, not as content creators. And I feel like that is so important, because it is those relationships, it is those networks, it is those things that are going to last, that are going to be genuine, and that are going to make you feel truly a part of whatever industry it is that you're in. And I'm saying this to you as someone that is learning it as well. And I feel like both of us, as we're talking, these are all things that we're learning and that we've recently learned. So definitely take that into account when it comes to attending events. You belong there, and make meaningful connections with people. The seventh thing kind of connects to what we just said, which is just, everyone is human. So before people are influencers, before people are content creators, before people work for brands, they are people. And as a micro-influencer, it's very easy to like kind of lose sight of that, because you're consistently, I feel like when you create content, you consistently think about content. So you're thinking about like, oh, can I get a picture for today? Can I get this? Can I get that? Can I get a video? Oh, I know this person, they have this amount of followers. Like, it's always in your head, because it's always what you see. It's literally your job. It's a part of what you do full time. So I feel like it's easy to like, let's say for example, see an influencer go off on social media and like almost be like, oh my god, this person did this. But it's just like, that's a person first. And if someone did to you what they did to that influencer, you probably want to throw hands. You would want to, you know what I'm saying, react the same way. You would go off as well. So I feel like it's very important as micro-influencers to just humanize other people, and also for people to humanize us. Just because we're smaller does not mean that you can talk to us any kind of way. You can brush us off. Like, we're all people at the end of the day.
I agree. I think that everybody urinates the same. Everybody does number 2 the same. And a lot of times people like praise influencers as celebrities, especially like in the environment that content creation and being an influencer has gotten to in 2019. But yeah, like, everybody's human, and even celebrities, I'm like, everybody's human. It's just that they have a special talent, or they have a unique talent that other people don't have, you know? So you never want to feel like less of a person. You should never feel less of a person. You should never feel like, oh, this person is too good for me, or this opportunity is too good for me, or I shouldn't be in this room with this person because they're X, Y, and Z. It's like, sis, that's a human just like you, okay? So that's how I feel, and with that mindset, I feel like I could start a conversation with everybody. I feel like I'm an outgoing person, so networking isn't really a problem. It's more so finding who to connect with, because I never want to waste my time, or it's hard for me to say this, but I never want to waste my time like speaking to somebody or trying to build a relationship with somebody who doesn't like reciprocate the same energy. But you would never know that.
Where you was going with that.
You would never know that until you have a initial conversation with the person, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm not feeling their vibe, so like from here on out, like it's not really a thing.
Yeah.
So it just depends on your networking style, on your networking mood, how you are as a person, your social skills, your social skills is really what it depends on, really, because everybody doesn't socialize the same way, and that's perfectly okay. Like Nay and I have probably went to the same amount of events, and for some reason, I don't know why, Nay still feels nervous, or Nay still feels like she can't network, and I'm like, girl, like what? Like I feel like Nay and I, we don't have the same personality, but we have like the same social skills. Like we both lit. We both know how to talk to people. We know how to keep friends. We know how to make friends. So I'm like, these people, I speak to people with the intention of, I want to be friends with you.
And I feel like that's the thing too, is like sometimes as a micro-influencer, like what Kendra was saying earlier, of like not feeling like you don't belong in those rooms and things like that, like it's human also for you to feel that way if you're someone that, for example, has struggled with confidence in the past. I know, like for me, confidence is something that I've had to build within myself. It's not something that I've always had. So I feel like I always second guess myself. I always doubt myself. I always, you know, like, and I was saying this in a video before, like I don't big myself up the same way that I big up people who do the exact same thing as me.
Yeah.
So it's like we could be on the same level, creating the same type of content, doing the same exact thing, and I will praise what someone else did, but like kind of question what I did. So that's something that I'm working on. So I feel like the important thing as a micro-influencer is to like continue to get to know yourself, because you're presenting yourself to thousands of people. So it's just like you need to know you, and then you need to work on yourself in order to be the best version of yourself as possible. So if you are someone that doesn't feel like you belong in the spaces that you go into, you really need to reflect. You need to think about why you feel that way, work on those things, and know that you deserve to be everywhere you go, like I said already, okay? And I guess I can network a little bit, but I feel like I always just like be like, dang, like I really tagged this girl, like what? Get your life.
Okay, so the last point is to focus on how to improve and constantly learn. So one thing that I have learned when I first started my YouTube channel, I'm like, oh my god, I need a popping camera, I need great quality, like I need everything to be like perfect to the T. And honestly, like one person that was a huge influence for me to break out of that mindset and that space was Jackie Aina, because when Jackie Aina was Lil Pumpkin 05 and she was sitting on the floor making her YouTube videos, and you see her now in her luxury LA condo, apartment, or wherever she live, you respect the growth, you know, like you can see her progress year over year. You can see like the improvements in her quality of her content. You can see the improvements in like her relationships, and one thing that still stands is her personality. So to me, when I started off, I was like, oh my god, I need a camera, I need this, I need that. And then I'm looking back and I'm like, do I really need this, or do I start from the bottom and take you guys along like on the journey with me, you know? So I feel like a lot of people are intrigued with this idea of like perfection, and it's really like, what is perfection? We don't know what perfection is. Our definition of perfection changes like day over day. Like sometimes I look at my content and I'm like, I need more lighting, but I know that my budget is not letting me get more lighting right now, so I'm gonna hold it down. I'm gonna do what I can do, what I have, and create my content. I'm not gonna sit here and like cry over spill milk or cry over things that I can't afford when I have resources. Listen, this is the only resource that you really need, and the sun outside, which is free. And I keep saying that over and over again, but it's really the truth. So I feel like seeing improvements in your quality, seeing improvements in your content, seeing improvements in your brand, and seeing improvements in you as a person, while still having that one key ingredient, which is basically your personality or what makes you unique, is really all you need to like believe in yourself and be a successful micro-influencer.
Yeah, and I feel like to add to that too, like besides just like doing what you can with what you have, you need to have that hunger to do better. And I feel like for me personally, like I started off filming on a Sony A50-100, and then like now I have my Canon 80D, I have a ring light, I have two soft boxes. Like I recently invested in like a mic, even though I don't use it yet, but it's just like I knew where I was. I did what I could with what I had, but I also had a goal for how can I improve my content, how can I get better lighting. I researched video after video, article after article, tutorial after tutorial on how to do things better, how to edit, how to use Final Cut Pro, how to do this, how to do that. So I feel like when you're in the industry, it's just like start first, but once you start, look up, like make your goals and continue to grind and go higher. So I feel like for me, I also make sure that I follow people that whose content I like love, right? Because it's like if I see something that you do and I love it, I want to figure out how can I incorporate something similar but make it my own. Right. How can I incorporate like the different transitions that you did in my own way? So like because I'm aware and I'm always learning even from the people that I follow, I'm going to automatically be consistently improving in my quality and my content because I'm aware of what's going on around me and I have the hunger and the drive to be better and not to be content with what I already have. If I was happy with just my one ring light and using my first camera, that's cool. People probably would have still, you know, liked me, but I think that people respect the fact that it's just like, oh my god, like look at how much better this has gotten. It makes us feel, I think it makes people feel like you're more real. Yeah. Because it's just like they know that they can start the same way you did and that they can continue to get better. Start, but always try to improve, always try to learn. I still watch beauty tutorials. I still watch videos on how to edit. I still watch videos on how to get your lighting. I still watch videos on how to start a YouTube channel. I still watch videos on how to grow because I want to keep getting better. I don't just want to stop with where I am.
So those are 8 tips that we have for everyone who is a micro influencer in this content creation space, being a beauty influencer, aspiring to be a beauty influencer. We hope that these tips have helped. Comment down below and let us know your thoughts. Let us know if you guys have any additional questions. And as always, if you guys have any questions you don't feel comfortable commenting down below, feel free to DM Ndeye or I on Instagram. Our handles will be up above. And don't be afraid to ask. Like, that's the biggest thing. Don't be afraid to ask. Closed mouths do not get fed. And that's that on that period. So we hope you guys enjoyed this video, and make sure you are subscribed to Ndeye's channel to watch the second part of this video. And yeah, so until my next video, we'll see you guys later.